Castro is not able to be here tonight, but I know he'll be meeting with you very soon, and he's looking forward very much to meeting you personally. So I want to again thank you for the willingness to serve in this very deserving community. And we are so proud of the potential partnerships that we have in front of us. And we're very eager to work alongside you. We're honored to have you, and again,
welcome. I'd like, if you don't mind, you see who they are. You kind of fill the room here. All the state center people from Fresno City College, and from the district office, and from Reedley College, and from Bovis College will just come up, and we'll show you who's all here. And we have two of our trustees, Ron Ishinaka and Trustee Aaron Payne, that are here as well. And so we have a contingent of presidents, directors, vice chancellors, and staff, and they're all working towards a common goal, which is to provide the best education, and a lot of our students in preparation to come to Fresno Pacific. So, and that's, I think my 2 minutes are up. I will tell you one story. So I was talking with Dr. Joseph Castro and Dr. Joseph Jones, and I decided it sounds like it's the thing to do. I'm gonna change my name to I'm gonna be Joe Paul. We have the oldest community college in the state of California, Fresno City College. We have the newest in the valley. And the president, Lori Bennett, is here, and we have the largest farm community college under the direction of President Dr. Stephanie Caldwell. That's why you have trustees to help you a lot. But as I was losing who's who, we have a bottle of the Reedley finest olive oil that we'll give to your wife, I said.
She grew up in New York City in the projects. I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, Southern City in the projects. We both came from what you might call dysfunctional families in the area, and so on and so forth. But yet, when we actually found faith, and when we actually began to look at our circumstances and beyond our circumstances, God has brought us to tremendous fruits of tremendous things. I graduated from the last segregated high school in Virginia. It was already illegal to be segregated. I graduated from that very last segregated high school. So we actually come quite a bit back in the background. My wife actually had been a CEO. She was CEO of Make-A-Wish Foundation in Pennsylvania. When we moved to Chicago, and I took a provost position of the University of Chicago, she became one of the 3 senior managers for Make-A-Wish Foundation National. That means a third of all of the Make-A-Wish organizations were under her advising and supervision and so forth. She's vice president of advancements, and she's an artist, she's a photographer, she's a speaker. Actually, she's a much better speaker than I am. That may say something to some of you all. But I want her to actually share a few words, because we actually are coming in this as a partner. There's certain things that we're doing. You're going to see a team of most active. She won't be governing my cabinet, but she will actually be modeling what we're doing with our staff and our staff, and in the city. And we'll talk with you a little bit about that. So I'm going to introduce my wife. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our family.
You have affirmed why we're here. And I am amazed. All I can think is just, wow. Wow, what God has done. How He has gone ahead of us and taken us out of the war where we knew we were there to be a light and to light up some people whose lights had gone out. And I went there with the passion to bring the light of hope, because so many people are persecuted there. and especially the women. And so I jumped on board whatever I could to empower women, to get them to lift up their heads, to get them to dream, to get them to believe that absolutely nothing is impossible with God. And I thought we were going to be there until He took us home, because the need is so great in these third world countries that I cannot even express to you the poverty-stricken needs there. And yet, I'm in awe of what God has done through your welcomes. To welcome us so warmly is amazing. And we are excited about the opportunities in this room. What we can do together. Alone, we are so incomplete. But together, no matter what your backgrounds are, we are forced to be recognized. And I am so thankful that we have been chosen to come here to really shake up this valley, to really empower the powerless, to give hope to those who feel hopeless, that education is the key. That's the power source that God has given us. And each one of you, though you represent your own institutions, we're all still one mission. And that's to be our brother and our sister's keepers. And to help them realize that they can rise above their circumstances. And that their past does not dictate their future. And so I am honored to just be here alongside my husband. I remember the Saturday when he had mentioned Fresno to me in our living room in Pakistan. And he asked me what I thought about it. And then he told me about the smog. Couldn't be greater smog than in Pakistan. And he told me about the lack of sunshine during the winter time. And he began to share all that he had researched, because he researched you to the nth degree. And then he said, what do you think about Fresno? And I said, well, we came to Pakistan. I mean, literally, living in Pakistan is no joke. You literally live with armed guards. You shop with armed guards. And you hear explosives and gunfire daily. And you live and you ride in cars never knowing if you're going to die that moment. And so you don't give place to fear. You just exist. Knowing that you're making a difference in someone's life. And you don't have to worry about that. You could go in your places of worship or whatever and not fear being blown away. And so it's a different lifestyle, and I felt that if we were bold enough to trust God to go to Pakistan to serve the poorest of the poor, surely we could shake up this valley together. And show them that we are the key for the needs in this valley. And so we are so excited about the opportunity to just get to know each one of you. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome.
Those of you who don't know me probably will be sad that you do know me in about 6 months. I hold people to their word. And say, I'm at a point, a time in my life that I don't have a lot of time for rhetoric. You say, I work with people who want to make a difference. I know that I can't do things by myself. One thing that I've learned over the years is that partnerships, collaboration makes a difference, makes change. One of the things that we've been talking about, and I've been putting out gathering together about our interdependence on each other. So many of us, we have to work so hard trying to do be successful in our own way. We're so proud of our own success and what we can actually do. We get very myopic about our success and our failure. And when we get so myopic, when all the kind of mountains and the troubles and the difficulties and all the problems that we see all around us, when we get frustrated and when we don't accomplish those things, because quite often we're out there all by ourselves. We're just seeing one part of it. But I of the belief, and I believe this is something that God has done in all of us, that He's given us all gifts and He's given us all experiences. He's given us a different insights. And if we would actually put down our God and stop being so independent and stop being so territorial, that our success, and realize that our success is based on our interdependence.
Yes.
Our interdependence. And so, if we look in terms of schools, I've heard you all say, "What? Give me a call. Yeah, we need to collaborate." You shouldn't have said that.
We'll do it.
You shouldn't have said that. I'm going to make sure that we have a list of all the people who are here. I'm serious. If we want to actually see change, for you all to be here, there is hope. There is hope in this city. There is hope in this region for you all to be here. And we are so excited. You know, we're used to actually going to cities. You know, I've only served in, as I previously mentioned, only served in cities, universities that were in cities. And I'm used to actually going and trying to build a relationship with a ministerial alliance, and then trying to get the mayor and the city council, and then working together, and then trying to, after frustration, trying to find a critical mass of people who we could actually work some issue. We worked in healthcare, we worked in school districts, we worked in community development, we worked in economic development. I mean, all across the thing, the board, when we were talking about things that are important to cities. We've done business development and incubators, and even training our kids in terms of entrepreneurship and so forth. Kids to college. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, the type of things that we've done from university to university. But the success that we've always had hasn't been just because the university could do it. When we could actually find a critical mass of people who are willing to partner together, put down their territories and say, let's not look at just our organization, who's going to get the credit, but let's look at the city, let's look at the people who we're here to serve, let's look at the students when it comes to educational institutions, the students that we're serving, and how can we empower, prepare, and empower our students to be change agents, that can solve the problems that are in their city, solve the problems that are in their neighborhood, and solve the problems that are in their homes. We have the power to do that. We have the power to do that. And I'm looking to join, because I can see you already have done that. That's the beauty of being here. I'm looking to join this critical mass of people and bring the assets and bring the gifts and bring the talents and bring the intellects and all that we have to have to the table to say, let's do something different here in Fresno that other cities will look at. You already started changing the city around. When I look at some of the history and what's going on over the last 10 years, there are things that are actually happening here. And sometimes we lose sight of what we have done.
That's right.
And we get so discouraged about what isn't done. And what happens, we begin to complain and murmur and complain and murmur. And God help us when our leaders begin to complain and murmur. I'll share this and then I'll shut up. I lead from a biblical context, a biblical framework. That's where I think wisdom comes. But there's a passage in the Bible. I hadn't planned to say this, but I'm going to say this because you all are leaders. But there's a passage in the Bible, and many of y'all probably have heard it from one time or another, where the children of Israel are about to go into the Canaan land. Remember that story? God had prepared this place of beauty, of prosperity for them. That was His heart for them. He kept telling them about it, let them dream about it. He took them to the wilderness to try their hearts and all those types of things. And then Moses steps up, and he actually looks around, and he chooses 12 leaders. 12 people who were highly regarded, well respected by the people. One from each of those tribes. So these are the people, the individuals that people looked up to and respected because of their wisdom and their insight, because of their knowledge. 12 leaders He chose. he told those leaders, he said, we have this land, God has promised it to us. We have a dream of where we want to go and where we're going to be. We've been dreaming about this for 40 years. We're here. But what I want you to do, I want you to go over into this land and look at it. And you know, they went and they looked at it and they came back and they said, it's just as it was promised. Everything that you said, everything that we heard is just as was promised. But we saw the giants and we saw the big cities and we saw and we saw and we saw. And they kept talking about, these are the leaders, they kept talking about all the problems that they saw. They forgot the promise, they forgot the possibilities because they could only see the problems. And when the leaders could only see the problem, then it stirred among the people. And the people began to get discouraged. And the people began to murmur and complain and began to think that they were better off back when they started, when they were in slavery, than they were where they were at that time. You all are leaders. And we all are leaders. And if we actually don't begin to keep the positive and keep looking at what we can be and what we can actually do and accomplish, and begin to communicate to those people who we are interacting with all the time, you see, then that same ghost of discouragement will come upon us. And when we actually hear it, we need to stop. No. I know this is the problem. I know drugs, I know gangs is the problem. I know these things are a problem. But we are more than able, if we're connected, if we're interdependent, we are more than able together, not by ourselves, but we are more than able to actually do this work that needs to be done. And so I come, my wife comes, and I'm coming with the university. Well, we started off as our kind of tagline that I started writing and begin to say to the university. Our tagline is we're here to engage the cultures, not just a culture, and to serve the cities. Engaging the cultures and serving the cities. That's how we're going to educate our students. Not just talk about it, but we want to model it and we want to engage them into these cities. And so that they can actually have practical experience of problem solving, taking the knowledge, the research, the things that they'll learn, and actually engage the people of the city. And so I'm looking for folks that to partner with, I'm looking for organizations that to work with. I'm looking for folks who are not willing to fill my ears with all the bad things and tell me what the real reality is. I've already researched that. I know I don't know everything. I know I don't know everything. But I don't want to hear all the problems. I want to hear about the solutions.
Right.
And let's begin to talk about the solutions that we can have. And we are looking to join those of you who become part of that critical mass here in this city. And we'll be a model of light all over the state and all over this region. Thank you also for coming. I really appreciate it. You have really excited us and actually affirmed for us that we've made the right decision coming here. Thank you.